evening, good evening, good evening. Mikey here, SD Fish and SKIFF. Walking down to the docks right now. Got the gear. Going back on the Sea Adventure 80. Overnight trip this time. Went on a 2.5 day trip last time. Shorter, quicker overnight trip this time. See what we can get into. Yellowtail, Dorado, bluefin, yellowfin. All the possibilities. We shall see. We are at August 17th. 2021 in the middle of the summer, and it's coming to be that school size fish, smaller size fish, and Dorado instead of the big bluefin that we had in June and July. So I'm gonna try to get down to the docks. It's about 7:40 right now. The boat leaves at 8. Gotta get down there, make it happen. Doing the catch, clean, cook with some Dorado tacos that I got in my bag right now. Here we go.
Going west. We're going to target yellowfin and yellowtail. Primarily are going to be fishing 25 pound and 30 pound tests. Fly line bait, small hook. Number 4, no bigger than a 1/0. A lot of boats did really well on a few kelps. One of them was kind enough to bag the kelp for us, so that's what we're going to go start. That's where we're going to go look. You got to fish in front of yourself. I sound like a broken record. Every trip. There's always handfuls of people. If you cast the bait in the water and it makes a hard 90, you gotta follow it. At all costs. If you gotta go under somebody, if you gotta go over somebody, under another person, move them out of the way. Get in there. Fish in front of yourself. It saves you guys a lot of heartache and pain because it prevents tangles. If the fishing is anything like it was today, it's going to be absolute mayhem. You're going to watch all the rods go whoop. Fish are going to go whoop different directions, and if you just stand there like you're fixed in concrete, you're going to lose your fish. You're fishing light line, you're fishing small hooks. You get 2 lines that are taut and they touch each other and they go goodbye. Every time. You might get lucky and land one, but 90% of the time they're going to go away. And if you continue to lose fish, they stop biting. You guys only have so much time on this boat. You need to harvest these things. We want to capture everyone that we hook. It keeps them in a frenzy. They're biting. You start ping, 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 and they go away. And they stop biting. We may not find another kelp the rest of the day. And that could be your opportunity. You gotta make it count. Bait selection. If you go to the hand well, if we get any of the bait that we've been getting the last few days, there's a lot of small bait mixed in. It'll work. I like using, baits that are about this big. If you go into a hand well, we only put, maybe 5 or 10 baits in each section of the hand well. The reason we do that is so they don't beat against each other, knock all their scales and slime off, and become worthless hunks of shit. They turn into wood chips. They just sit there. Those don't get bit. If you go in there and you're looking for baits and you don't see something that you would fish, if you pick it up, throw it. Let's keep the hand well cycled out. You grab it and you got a handful of small baits, throw them in the water. It's all good. You're chumming. You're doing half the work for us. If you need bait, let us know. Hey, can we get some hand well baits? And we'll give it to you. All the bait on the boat is your guys's. Just ask for it. We just dole it out to you in small portions. If you pick up a bait and it looks like a Christmas tree, it's not good. You want a blemish-free bait. Is it red spots, or it's pink, or its nose is red? Throw it. If you don't see it, you need more, give me more bait. Give me more bait until you find one that you want. You don't grab baits out of the hand well like this. Full speed. It knocks all the slime off, it knocks all the scale off. It's amazing. If you take your hand, you place it like this, and you go right into the corner, every time a bait will swim in your hand. Every time. I fish 210 days a year. Every time a bait swims in your hand. It may not be the one you want. Just stick your hand in the corner. Place a hook in it, grab your line, figure out where you're gonna fish, and get it in the water. You don't need to grab your bait, place a hook in it, squeeze it half to death, walk around the boat, figure out where you're gonna put your line in, cast out, your hands covered in scales and all that slime on sardine. It's no good. If you pin a bait and he's bleeding, the bait is this big. How much blood do you think they got? Not much. You failed. Eject him, put pin on a new bait, cast out, you'll get bit. It was easy. They were biting. All you had to do was underhand a bait from here to the trash can, and you were bit every single time. Until people stopped moving. Once they stopped moving, they started releasing them faster than we were hooking them, and they stopped biting. We want to capture every fish that we hook, period. At no point in this trip will you be fishing with wind at your back. If you are on, we only give you 80 feet of one side of the boat and 20 feet across the stern, 25 feet across the stern. If you're standing on a side of the boat in the middle of a stop and you have no friends, you're on the wrong side. If you cast the bait out and you watch it go whoop underneath the boat, you need to wind it up and change it. You need a bait that goes away from the boat every time. What happens is if you're fishing on the incorrect side of the boat and by some miracle you get bit, you're playing tug of war. Your line is rubbing across the bottom of the boat. You got zincs, you got rudders, you got rudder shafts, and you got propellers, and you got a $30,000 sonar dome that we don't want you to mess up. That fish is gonna go underneath the boat. It's gonna tangle around the people that are fishing on the correct side. You guys are pulling back and forth. I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. No, one person's on and you guys are off tangle. You gotta know what your bait's doing. If you cast your bait out and he's not running like he's been dipped in gasoline and set on fire, it's not the right bait. If he runs for 10 feet and he just hits the brakes and you're just blindly paying out line, that bait went whoop, and he's doing circles around everybody's lines. I see it every day. Every day. I've been on the boat for 87 days straight, and the stuff that I've seen in the last 87 days would blow your mind. Fish in front of yourself, wind in your face. I suggest if you're fishing a fly line bait, every 15 seconds or so, backpedal on your spool, take the wind bow out of your line so you know where your bait actually is. There was at least this many people on the last trip, oh, my line's going straight out. And we're watching from the upper deck as their bait went whoop underneath the boat. And they're just paying and paying and paying out line. Hundreds of yards. And then they come up in a tangle this big. You guys have to work with each other. Now, if there's a fish going and all of a sudden you didn't get bit, but you got tail beats, you're hooked on somebody's fish. If you say, hey, I think I'm on this fish, it's no problem. We're professionals. And if you let us know quickly, it's not hard. We go, whoop, here you go. Here you go. But if you just keep blindly paying out line, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. When you guys are fighting a fish, you have a rail right here. 90 degrees. 90 degrees is where your rod needs to be. If the fish starts running this way, I don't want you going, woo, and pointing the rod at him. Turn his head, keep your rod 90 degrees, and then he'll start doing circles. As soon as you point your rod at them, it lets them dig their head down and they're going to take a bunch of line. If you keep 90 degrees, if your crew members say keep it 90 degrees, keep your rod 90 degrees from the boat. They come right up. Be careful moving around the boat, going down the stairs, handrails, don't slip and fall. It's going to hurt really bad. No running on the deck. There's no need for that. Guys that want to cast jigs, I've pulled more hooks out of people this year than in my 20 years of fishing. bar none. I would say at least 12 solid hook sets in the last 5 trips. Absolutely, under no circumstances are you going to cast anything that's metal from the gates back. If you want to cast a jig, you're going to cast it on the bow. Now, a lot of guys like throwing jigs, myself included. If we're pulling up on a kelp and you want to be Johnny on the spot, you want to fire out your surface iron first, keep in mind this boat weighs 100 tons. When we pull it neutral, we're moving for a while, boys. It don't stop. There's no brakes. You're going to cast that jig out and you're going to follow it. Give the next guy some real estate to cast a jig. Don't be a rail hog. No need for it. The crew will be fishing on this trip. Absolutely 100%. We're going to hook them who wants it. If you want to fish hooked by a crew member, wind up what you're doing and go take the fish. You don't even have to ask. If you see a crew member bent, just walk up. I'll take it. Really simple. We don't want to wind them in. We just want to hook them for you guys. There's always a handful of guys on a trip. Doesn't matter how good of a fisherman you are. You can't get bit. That's what A-Team's here for. Doesn't matter if it's big bluefin or little Dorado. There's always that guy. Hey, and I've had plenty of those days myself. It happens. I've been in wide open bluefin bites, wide open yellowtail bites. I had to have my buddy hook me a fish because I couldn't get it done. I don't know what I was doing wrong. It happens. It's fishing. Hopefully, we do a lot of catching tomorrow. There's an area, a small area that has a handful of kelps that are producing. There's also a large area, the Pacific Ocean, that's not holding much. So we're going to do our best to get you in the zone where these kelps are. One of my close friends put a nice big blown up trash bag on it that we can find it. We'll be in binos from sun up until we're absolutely out of time. We don't stop looking for fish. You're on a boat with a bunch of guys who love to fish. We love what we do. Plain and simple. It ain't about the money. We like the money though, so don't forget us at the end of the trip. Most important, guys, let's go have some fun. You know, you guys paid a lot of money to come out here. You're gonna see cool stuff. Let's have a good time. Let's work together. You can butt hook your baits. You can shoulder hook your baits. You can breast hook your baits. You can nose hook your baits. Myself, I personally am a butt hook guy. That's how I fish my baits. If you butt hook them, they have a tendency to go down and out. If you nose hook them, they have a tendency to go flat and out. If you shoulder hook them, they will also go down and out, but I have a hard time hooking them that way. I just don't fish. Mike upstairs, he's a shoulder hook guy. I'm a butt hook guy. I have been seeing some guys breast hooking them. I don't care what you do. Be gentle with your bait. When you grab the bait out of the hand well, I'm lightly pinning his head to my finger with my thumb and index finger, and all I'm doing is laying my pinky over his body so I can prevent him from moving and knocking his scale off. I grab him gently, I place my hook in him, and I let him go. And I cast him out. It should be a really quick deal. This is the appropriate way to store your hook. Your bottom guide on the side of the foot. So now, when you come up to the bait tank, you take your hook out, you rest the rod in the creak of your arm so it's not waving around beating everybody at the bait tank in the face with it. Grab your hook ready to penetrate, grab your bait, place a hook in them, hold your line. If you wind your hook up to your tip, now you're trying to work like this. It's not very efficient. You know, it's really hard to be gentle, place a bait in them. Every time, if you store your hook on your bottom guide on the side of the foot, you don't want to set it in the center here. You have on most of these rods, you have ceramic guides, and you crack a ceramic guide. If you make this a habit, you're doing it the right way, period. You can hook it all the way down the reel, but then you got a bunch of slack, then you got to wind up to cast. You place it right here, Now you're in the, if you're gonna cast, see, we don't care if you cast baits out on the stern. If you cast a bait out, just make sure nobody's behind you so you're not setting the hook in them. These little ones, they don't hurt people. It's them big hooks on the jigs that people don't like getting ripped through them. You know what I mean? These you don't even feel, but overhead cast if you want, underhead cast. But this is the correct way to store your hook. 25 pound, I'll just tell you what I fish. I'll be fishing 25 pound test, 25 pound fluorocarbon, and a number 4 circle hook. And I will capture every one of them. No. Except for the fact that it makes it a little bit easier for them to chew you off. 25, I mean, there was zero problem. I did notice from 25 to 30, they didn't bite as well. That's why I'll just let you know what I fish and what Mike's gonna fish, what Connor will fish. We're gonna fish 25 pound fluorocarbon and a small circle hook. If you guys are not familiar with fishing a circle hook, you don't need to set the hook like you're fishing in, you know, fresh water. All you do is apply drag, the hook rolls in the corner of its mouth, and you're good to go. Now, if you're fishing a J hook, you are going to need to set the hook. Problem with the J hook and fish that have teeth is if you're not Johnny on the spot, they swallow it. You get a good hook set, dude, but then you got line running across sharp teeth. We want this to be a fun, memorable experience for all of you. Catching fish is extra. We got you, bud.
Steve is blind, in case you might not notice, because he can kind of
I think everybody knows what a white cane is, Gary.
Well, but you're not always going to have the white cane.
That's true. That's true.
And he wears sunglasses.
That's just because he's a cool.
But so people don't know he's blind a lot of times because he's so used to it.
Hey, just don't beat me in the shins again, okay?
All right.
But if you can help him out in any way, it'd be appreciated.
It doesn't seem like gigantic kelp. It's not about just gigantic kelps. The fish that we got on our last trip was on a scrap, was about the size of the top of this, and it was really thin. It didn't have much structure to it, and we almost drove by it, and it was absolutely loaded. If you see something we miss, yell at us. If you guys want to troll, we have no problem with you guys trolling. We're not going to do a trolling rotation. We do have trollers. If you want to troll, you got to watch the troller. You got to wind it in. You got to wind it in. You got to wind it in. It's nothing worse than we find a kelp, you know, winding the jigs, and everybody's standing at the bait tank, and we got 4 jigs out. Now you got 2 deckhands back there winding in jigs full speed when one of them needs to be on the bait tank. If they don't chum, all it's doing is hurting you. We got to chum. We got to chum. And if I got all my hands tied up winding in jigs, the only people that are losing out are you guys. If you're gonna troll, you gotta wind it in. Hey, while we're loading bait, if you can keep from the gates back clear, we'd appreciate it. Please don't ask the guys to help you rig up while we're loading bait. Once we're done, we got quite a drive. We got 4 or 5 hours out to the grounds. Plenty of time for them. They don't need sleep.
It's all good. We got 9:30. We're leaving the dock. Next stop, we're heading. They say west. He said we're heading west, right? Yeah, heading west. Be on the kelp patties. Kirby's gonna be getting them tomorrow. That's how we're doing it. Yep, 4 or 5 hours. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. 5:20. We're out on the fishing grounds right now. A couple other boats out here. I see 1, 2, 3 lights. I'm gonna got my gear right here. I'm gonna get rigged up. I got the Tranx 500. I still got the little hook and everything from when I was fishing on AWOL. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, put a jig on here, and then I'm gonna fish the Seagate. Put 25 pound on this one. The Seagate on the CalStar. And then here's my jig stick. I still got the stick bait on it. All right, so here it is, 25 pound fluoro, number 2. Alrighty then, there it is. I got my 25-pound fluorocarbon leader tied on to my main line with the Albright knot. And I have that number 2 hook. Sun's coming out, we're gonna start fishing. Let's get it. Wonder if they found that one with the bag on it. Oh, there it is.
Hey guys, here in about 30 seconds, we'll be fishing the left-hand side of the boat, bow on the stern, the left-hand side.
I'm good.
What are you gonna troll, Steve?
Yeah.
Gonna throw a feather.
Feather? No cedar plug?
Actually,
There it is. That's the, oh, you got the pink and the purple cedar plug. Look at that.
look at feather right there.
Yep. That thing's gonna get bit.
I hope so.
Let's see it. Way far out past the wash, huh? That's what you want to get it past the boat wash?
Yeah.
Wind it in. Turn the handle and wind it in. Alright, soft on 2 kelp patties so far, nothing holding. You got San Clemente Island right there in the distance. Let's try to find a patty. He's on it.
This wasn't the patty.
There you go.
Slide into the corner. Coming into the corner.
Oh! He did have a fish.
Under wrap.
Oh!
Hey, Nico.
Let me pull it. Okay, so you see how it's going down like that?
Yeah.
Grab this piece. Alright. Pop the reel. Not the piece I grabbed, just the piece that went over, right?
Yeah.
So you pop it around. Boom shakalaka, you free.
That's good stuff
Wow,
right there.
that is really good stuff. 3 kelp patties, 1 hookup, lost fish. Yeah! Nice one, bro. Sick.
Coming down, Gary.
That's the fish that came out of that tangle. Dang, did you lose that?
Yep.
Is that that's the Okuma Revo? Those are nice, huh?
Komodos?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got 25 tipping, and this is flex. So 25.
Nice, you're good.
Ooh!
That's that feel you want. Oh no, you're in the kelp.
For sure?
It looks like it, but we'll see. Connor's gonna work his magic.
All right.
Connor's gonna do his magic.
There he goes.
You got him?
Now he broke off.
Oh.
Bummer.
Get another one. Breakfast time. Breakfast burrito from Leonard. Bacon, sausage, egg, potato, cheese. Bomb.
Get him, David. Get him, boy.
Connor,
I told you as soon as I walk away, you get it. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mahi, mahi.
Oh, that's that dude, that big dude, huh? Where's he at? Oh, David.
So do it.
Dodo right there. Nice colors. It is. Nice job. That flyby. We're out by San Clemente Island. So far, 1 Yellowtail, 2 Dorado. Looking for that right patty. We'll find it. It's 10 o'clock right now. Fish hard. Troll hard. Where's Nico? All right, so here's the sleeping areas. Staterooms. That's where I found
Guys, there's a fish on the right-hand side of the boat. Just 1 second.
He was jumping and getting airborne, huh?
Dude, these things jaws, they be sharp.
Oh yeah, he
Open
looks
the mouth,
sharp.
show for the camera.
You got some little baby shark teeth.
Let's see
Yeah,
them
dude.
teeth. Let's see them teeth.
Let's see a
Stick your
nipple
finger in
piercing.
there, dude.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
That would hurt.
I'm not grabbing that White Claw, bro. So it's gone, but
Trolling by a patty, had divers on it. Just found out legally you're not allowed to fish a patty if there's divers. You have to be 300 feet away from divers. There you go, shark right here. Come on, hit it. Here we go. Let's go, Sharky. Yeah, I saw him in the smooth water, right? Yeah.
anybody want this? Nobody?
Dodo right there. Nice. Yeah.
Line it up real close and bounce him up and over the rail. Just like you're bouncing up the other one. Coming over.
Dorado. Yeah, there you go.
Bait up, cast out.
Nice,
Nice shot, Nico. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. Good job. Nice catch. Was that a bigger bait?
Yeah, it's on a mackerel.
Oh, you found a mackerel in there. Good for you, dude. 20 pound?
20 pound, yeah.
20 pound on the mackerel. That's what I'm talking about, making it happen. Yeah, he found the mackerel.
Oh,
the
damn.
magic mackerel. That's it, that's all. We're here August 18th, 2021. Coming back from Sea Adventure 80. Overnight trip. Getting a couple Dorado, Bonito, Yellowtail on the Kelp Paddy. It's tough fishing, but got some fish, made it happen. Making our way through August, we'll see what. It was really cool fishing with some of the people that have been watching my videos. Had Kirby, Molly from up in up north, Oregon. That was cool. Might go up and visit them. Good stuff. Fun times. Breaking on the inside. That's, I think it's Ballast Point. Is that called Ballast Point, or is that actually Ralph's right there?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just know there's a wave right here.
I know. Yeah, I can see a guy right there.
On a bigger swell.
Boats anchored up and they're catching waves. Maybe I'll have to go out tomorrow.